Okay, so this is the last temple before I fly back to Cairo. The tour with Mito's already ended. We got to meet him again in about 15 minutes. Then we go back to the boat. But this is Karnak Temple. It's the largest, I think it's the largest temple complex in the world, he said. And I've walked around, and it's pretty cool, but it's kind of too large to see everything in one go. But this little bit, I think, it's good for 360 because, like, if you look up, there's color in the column still. And I asked him if so this would be where the priests were, and you can see the cross beams at the top. So notable stuff here. If you look up, straight up, you'll see that these 12 columns, these 6 and 6, there's the Greek girls there. These two, the 6 and 6, they have the open flower design. So that's indicative of the Egyptian times. Those ones, and then if we go inside, or if you look over to, I guess, my right, you'll see they're closed flower at the top. That's all to Egyptian. Those are the two Egyptian types. Anything other than those, and you're looking at either Roman or Greek. The two I'm between now, they're a lot taller. And if you look up and see the closed flower ones, you'll see kind of a building on top. That's meant to be a window, because this passage was specifically used to bring the statue, I think, of Iman-Ra, but the god Ra is the god of sun. So they had to make sure that the inner temple here was able to get sunshine. So let's walk inside there a bit. The colors, wow. So I asked the guide if these were like original. You know, is this how they found them? And he said yes. When they uncovered all this, these things were still standing. And the cross beams at the top, if you look up, you'll see there's still color on them. They were also just standing as they were. So they've had to fill in cracks to stabilize it. But wherever there were hieroglyphics, they kept them. And noteworthy here, you'll see that some of these are like super deep. These cartouches, like this cartouche right here, that's the cartouche of Ramses II. Well, they all have two cartouches to identify the king. He made them super deep, specifically because it was common back then for pharaohs. Look at this dickhead. I don't know why people feel they need to touch it. It was common back in the time for people to rub out other people's names and take their credit for those things. So he made these hieroglyphics particularly deep, like notably deep, so that other people couldn't come after him and basically steal his thunder, which I think is a pretty clever thing to do. Oh man, you just got to keep looking up. Up is an important direction, because the fact these cross beams, after thousands of years, still have color. They only have about 3 or 4 colors, and the colors come from stone. So what they do is they crush up stone to a very fine powder, and then they mix it, I think he said, with egg white. And so the color was not organic based, it was stone based, so it literally lasts forever, as long as the stone. So these boats probably represent the passage of, what they did was they would put the statue in a little mini boat, take it to the Nile, and then they could move it. Anyway, I'm just going to hold here. In fact, I'll raise it up a bit. You can just kind of look around as you want. Sorry, I'm trying not to move it too much, but so in the boat right in front there, I think the guy on the left is Osiris. The guy on the right, that's Imanra, not Imanra, that's Anubis, who's the god of embalming, or the god of mummification. And that's about as far as I can guess. Oh, I see some wings on the pillar right by here. That might be Mat. No, it's not Mat. Mat's the goddess of justice. Okay. That might be. I don't think that's. The one on the left is Ramses too. The one on the right doesn't look like him. Oh yeah. So this one at the bottom here. So the one at the top, that bird, that represents Egypt. This one represents all. And that star, you can't really see it, represents to prayer. So that means all Egypt prays for. That must be Ramses too. Yeah, this one's more clear. You can see all Egypt prays. Yeah, that's Ramses too. Yeah, that's Ramses too, cartouche. Oh, so they all have kind of the same thing on the bottom. Interesting. One reason for that, normally that's used for gods. All Egypt prays for some god. But Ramses too, the reason he built Abu Simbel down very, very far south of Aswan is because he needed to somehow make himself into a god. Apparently he's the only pharaoh who actually tried that, and it worked. He picked a province that didn't have a local god, and he basically said, no, I'm of Ra, I'm direct heritage of Ra, so therefore I am a god. I probably lost something in the translation there from what I heard from the guide, but that's the meat and potatoes of it. Anyway, so I think I'll stop here at Karnak just because I've managed to offload most of my 360 videos. I've already converted them to MP4s on my computer, but my computer's like full. I have no more room for conversion, and I can't upload because the internet's so bad. So I'm on my last like 20 gigabytes of memory on my SD card because I stupidly didn't bring my other one from Thailand. So honestly, if I come back, I think I would go straight here to Luxor. Luxor just seems like a really nice city. It's very green. It's the nicest feeling I've had in a city since I've come to Egypt. And then just chill here and explore. Anyway, from sunny Egypt, this is my last 360 here. Hope you've enjoyed the videos I've taken, found them useful in some way. If you're planning a trip to see the kind of different temples and what might be in them. Until my next trip, see you later.